All right, and we are back, and that was Livong with
Kola Simba.
Kola Simba. That's out of one of Livong's albums. I believe that's out of his new album, right?
Yes, I actually picked up from the album Picante.
Picante. Oh, you picked it up from the DJ album. Yeah, I forgot the name of that DJ. He does a lot of mixes for Angolan artists.
DJ Diaz Rodriguez.
Yeah, there you go, DJ Diaz Rodriguez. Yeah, he does a lot of
O Picante Volume 5.
Right. Yeah. So he does a lot to promote Angolan music. He puts together a lot of mixes, a lot of things together to make sure that that he promotes the artists, and he's been doing very good. I mean, he also has a song with Paulo Flores, and that he's also an artist in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But before we went on a break, you were talking about your first hustle, your first venture. You were telling us on how you started basically a catering business, right?
Yes,
so,
without knowing what it was,
right.
But that's how we evolved.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to have about 100 to 200 rissoles ready
right.
every day, ready to be picked up, frozen,
right.
and they would be cooked fresh at the restaurants and at the roulottes of some friends of my father.
Right.
And because he sold beer, so he came along with having the
there
little
you go.
finger food.
So you found something to basically fulfill, right? What was in the middle.
Exactly.
Right, and you know, that's the hustle that I'm talking about. Understanding the need, because a lot of people don't know that one of the keys to business is to first understand the need of the consumer.
That is
right?
correct.
Yeah, we're like in a society of copy and paste. Everybody, like if you start doing one thing, everybody wants to do that same thing. People don't even stop, think, and analyze and be like, wait a second, if he's sweeping the floor, maybe I need to become the guy who picks up the trash, and then somebody else needs to be the person who takes the trash away and gets rid of the
there
trash.
There goes.
Right.
Understanding your own gift is another thing.
Indeed.
If you have joy in what you do,
right.
you will do willingly for free,
right.
but better if you get paid.
Indeed, always better.
And I have till today that
right.
That gift of cooking.
Uh-huh.
I've learned from my mother. I've learned from my grandmother.
Right.
She passed away a couple years ago. One of the women that I quote constantly,
uh-huh.
that I live by her words, that I always wanted to make her proud.
Right.
Both of my grandmothers.
Maternal and paternal.
And paternal.
Right.
Paternal, she would say that's my mulher homem.
Okay.
Because I was always the strong one.
Right.
She wanted something to get picked up really heavy. Where is your father? Where is your brother? And no, I'm here.
And you pick it up.
And I would have picked it up and like, hey, mulher homem.
Yeah, you were just a go-getter.
Yes,
right.
I was a tomboy
right.
from
yeah.
early, but it was mainly because I chased everything.
Mm-hmm.
I want to fulfill that void, like
right.
you said, and we had plenty during those days.
Right. So for you were breaking barriers already, fulfilling non-traditional roles.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's great. So let's evolve from there. Now you are now somewhat of age. How do you end up in the States and out of all things, right, in the armed forces?
Well, that didn't start now.
Okay.
In Angola,
mm-hmm.
I attended a test that it was to fulfill the void on Air Force of fighter pilots.
Okay. So you wanted to be a fighter pilot?
I wanted to be a pilot.
You wanted to be a pilot?
I wanted to be a pilot, period. And at that time, I would have been the first fixed-wing pilot.
Oh, wow.
That comes from 80s, late
right.
80s into 90s.
Right.
We had maybe helicopter pilots in Angola or in Africa.
There you go, but no fixed wing.
Not fixed wings. And
wow.
I went to these testings. I don't want to quote the number, but among all those men,
right.
I came in maybe fourth.
Wow.
Among the psychotechnical and the physical tests,
oh, wow.
which were required to be positioned.
Right.
Something happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to even go into the terms, but I ended up not going to the class
wow.
that Miguel Prata, that now a pilot,
right.
we were together in the same group.
Wow.
He followed that path and joined
right.
the Air Force.
Right.
I ended up in a scholarship in Germany to become air traffic controller.
Oh wow.
Yes,
okay.
And that's where I learned German.
There you go.
One of the other languages I speak.
Right, and your last name is German.
My last name is Dutch. Comes
That's
from
Dutch. Okay.
my husband. That is a Dutch Indonesian, with the
Indonesian.
background of Portuguese of all things. And it has to happen quite a lot of things for us to be together today.
Right.
And we can only say that it was the hand of God,
Right.
the divine hand of God to make that.
Laws of the universe.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
But my love and passion to be in uniform, it was really great. And fast forward, I met my first husband that is now, he passed about 2 years ago.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
My ex-husband, the father of my first two children.
Okay.
He was working for American Embassy.
Okay.
And that's and my firstborn was born in Luanda.
Okay.
We came to U.S.
Right.
We were expecting our second child.
Wow.
And that was born in September.
Okay. And what city?
I apologize. He was born in October.
In October. Okay.
While I'm pregnant, the September 11 happened.
Ooh. Wow.
We were in Virginia.
Okay.
And the father of my children at that time was working for the State Department on his way to D.C. when everything happened.
Wow.
That was one of my first inspirations, how that event had touched the whole world.
Indeed.
That everybody had they just had that within their hearts.
It was,
I gotta do something.
Right.
What am I supposed to do?
Definitely. I was in DC also when that happened. It's funny. I tell this story a lot of times because I was also on my way to the office, and my office was right next to Andrews Air Force Base at the time.
Wow. And they shut down.
And I'm seeing all of the
airplanes evacuating.
Airplanes taken off, and all the anti-Air Force guns being pulled out, and I'm trying to basically figure out what's going on. So I get to the office, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? It's like there's a lot of activity, and everybody's just saying, oh no, they may be a drill or something.
Wow.
Until we walk in. Right, and
that was not a drill.
Right,
there was real life, and there was an event that all combined with my will to always volunteer to do something different for the community.
Right.
I didn't believe it that it was possible at the time, but being athletic as I was, I walked in to the first recruiting station I found, and I said, "What can I do with my status?" And they told me, "Well, you could always join."
There you go.
In that time, they were increasing the forces, and I was so glad that happened. So I had just had a child, like as I mentioned, 2001 he was born. 2002 they allowed me to nurse him, and I joined, and I was on a delay program that kicked in, and in 2003 I was in basic training.
Wow, that's so. and now we're gonna start talking the details of that drive to push the envelope, to break that non-traditional role. Okay, so when you decided to go to basic training, give us your state of mind, your fears, your anxieties. What exactly is going on through Gisela's mind around that time?
Well, let me start like this. I first didn't want to tell anybody that I even did it.
That you joined.
But I had to because I needed that support.
Right, the moral
so
support.
when I talked to my parents, hey, I just want to tell you something.
Right.
I'm going to join the military. And my father, his first comment on almost everything, "You crazy." There goes, she's going with some crazy thing that she's going to kick in and think that she can conquer the world. Well,
oh, wow. Yeah,
they came in from Angola in support of my decision.
Right.
And took both of my children to Angola.
Wow.
And as I matured the idea that I was going to be serving, that I wanted to serve also as an inspiration for my children.
Gotcha.
2 boys.
Right.
I didn't have a girl at the time.
Right.
2 boys. I want to set up an example. One was born in Angola, the other was born in U.S.
Right.
So it would be great for them to see what their mother could do. Their father was already a retired Air Force airman.
Right.
And he had honorably served, was working for the State Department.
Right.
And he had already established something, but
right.
they are seeing now in a career complete. They
right.
didn't see the beginning of it.
Didn't see the action.
So
Mom wanted to give the replay.
Yes, exactly. And we had a good support system. My parents, they stepped in, and many of my neighbors. I will never forget Miss Louise Roberts from Culpeper, Lignum, Virginia.
Oh, wow.
And they became like a extended family. And I built a long one here in the U.S.
Great relationships.
Great relationships that I've established on the process of not just joining the military, but throughout my career.
Yeah.
It's been now 16 years. Great. And I joined for 6, and I thought, look, I'll do 6 years and I'll get out.
You're now in for 16 years.
I know.
So then at this point, you might as well, I guess you're going for retirement at 22, right?
I will be done when the Army is done
there you go.
with me.
You go.
But meanwhile, while I feel that I can still serve, I'm a volunteer for life.
There you go.
I love to help and give a helping hand at any time.
Right.
I will be there.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great. So it's something that you would probably say to young ladies who probably feel, who may feel like they would like to go, but have that little bit of fear probably of crossing that threshold to go into the armed forces. What would you say to them to encourage them?
Nothing should stop your dreams. If you set your mind to it, you fulfill it.
There you go.
You will never know what the future brings until you get it something started.
Right.
If you wait to be the right time, that will never come. Right. The right time is the time that you take that step,
one step,
and the next, and falling on.
Right.
And when you realize, I was like, I never even dreamed that this would be that great.
Right.
That's where I am now, 16 years later.
Right.
And I thought I was just going to be 6.
Right.
And the 10 more added with a lot of experience,
yeah,
ups and downs, but tremendous growth.
Right. Life. Right.
Absolutely.
That makes life a dynamic thing and a loving thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now let's go ahead and take another break. And as always, I like to pick. I like to get the guests to actually do the pick and pick the song. So what do you want to pick next?
The song that I want to pick touches my heart. Because of the military service and the commitment that I've made. It's been very hard to plan my trip back to Angola. So the last time I was in Luanda was 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I feel it. And this song, every time it plays, brings tears to my eyes.
Oh, wow.
But with joy, I still be in touch with everybody.
There you go.
O Som da Banda. Elvio Ciro Cruz, Unidade 112.
All right.
Luanda.
All right.